Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Legends of 40K, and on this edition we're talking about Cato Sicarius, company captain of the Ultramarines 2nd Company. So let's get right to it. First off, he's 200 points, weapon skill 6 plus a skill of 5, strength of 4, toughness of 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 10, 2 plus save. He's unique, infantry, he's got mantle, Sicarian, Talisarian, Tempest Blade, Plasma Pistol, Frag and Crack Grenades, Iron Halo, and special rules, and they shall know no fear, combat tactics, independent character, rights of battle, surprise attack, battle force heroes. A lot of stuff to talk about, and just keep in mind, in case you're new to my Legends of 40K series, this is a series in which I talk about one special character per video, giving you everything about them, my opinion of them in terms of what needs to be changed, maybe or not, depend on both their model, if they have one, and their entry, and then how I would use them, or my opinions on using them. So, let's continue onwards. Firstly, for special rules, surprise attack. Lets an army that includes Sicarius to they can re-roll the dice when attempting to seize the initiative. Rights of battle. Pretty much Sicarius has rights of battle, which is what all captains used to have in the previous edition of the Codex. So I'm not going to go over that. Battle Forged Heroes. One tactical squad in an army that includes Sicarius can have one of the following special rules at no additional cost. Counterattack, infiltrate, scout, or tank hunters. So that's pretty cool. Wargear, the Talisarian Tempest Blade is a power weapon, and if Sicarius wishes, he can attempt a single coup de grace attack in lieu of his normal close combat attacks. If the coup de grace hits, it's resolved at a strength of 6 and causes instant death, regardless of the wounded model's toughness. Fun little ability there. And the Mantle Sicarian, or however you pronounce that, is Artificer armor that bestows the Feel No Pain special rule on Sicarius. So, first and foremost, I think his model's great. Very cool looking. I really like the artificery look of it, since he has artificer armor. I really like how that looks. Thing to point out, he comes with 2 different head types and 2 different hand types. He has his bare head here, as you see, as well as he actually has this helmet, the ability to have this helmet on. So you can have him wearing his helmet. And then he has this hand where he holds his helmet, or he has another hand where he holds a plasma pistol. So that's pretty cool. And this hand, if I remember correctly, is you have to glue it on so you can get to all the detail back there. So that's pretty cool. Now, as an entry, I think he's fine. I think he's well point costed. He's not too expensive, and he's not too cheap. I think you get what you pay for with him in terms of points, and really not much I would change on him. If nothing I would change on him, really. I think he's a good solid entry for a captain, a special character captain of the Ultramarines that, you know, is an example of the Ultramarines doctrine, which is a strict adherence to the Codex Astartes. One little interesting point: the previous, well, not previous, but during the Medusa 5 campaign thing that Games Workshop had, they had I believe it was right before or during it or something, they had this model. It was an Ultramarine power armor model with twin lightning claws, and it was kind of billed as Sicarius at the time. But as you can plainly see, it's not anymore. But so, just something to make note of. I thought it was interesting that he was billed like that then, you know, with no special rules or anything, just a generic captain, if you were going to use that model. But anyway, moving on. How would I use Sicarius? Well, first and foremost, you have to first acknowledge his weaknesses, just like any other HQ's weakness, the shooting phase. Now, he has Artificer armor, he has a 4+ invuln save because of the Iron Halo, and he has Feel No Pain. So, I mean, he's pretty resilient. At the same time, his shooting phase is still his weakest. He's got a pistol. It's a plasma pistol, but it's still a pistol. so his range is really limited, and he can get shot up even with his artificer armor. Also, one thing to keep in mind with him is he's not immune to instant death, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of people view characters now, or yeah, pretty much characters now, if they don't have Eternal Warrior or something like it, that they suck, and that's clearly not the case. Not everybody thinks that, but there are a decent amount of people who think that. At least locally, there were. So, how would I use him? I would support him. I would put him with a command squad, or a tactical squad, even, depending on which one has what special rule. I'll put him with that one. Just things to help him have extra wounds, and the fact that in order to shoot at him, you have to shoot through the entire squad to get to him. And he makes that squad beefier in close combat, because now will people charge that squad that he's attached to it? It depends. But they're going to think about it more so than if that squad was by itself. But there's almost no bad squad to attach him to. I mean, if you attach him to a Devastator squad, he's going to be not doing much. I wouldn't do that. But pretty much anything else is pretty good to attach him to. Within reason. So it all depends on what you're doing, really. If you want to be really assaulty with him, Assault Marine squad without jump packs, or a Vanguard veteran squad, a small one if you want it, will help. He's also good with Stern Guard. I mean, really, there's almost no bad power armor squad to attach him to, aside from Devastator squads. As far as the special rules to give one of the tactical squads, it's nice. It's nice and versatile. I mean, it covers a wide variety of things to do. Tank Hunters is very nice, for obvious reasons, especially if it helps. It boosts all their weapons. I wouldn't give it to a squad that has a heavy bolter, for example, because that would be kind of a waste. But anything else, it's pretty fair game to give his Tank Hunter squad, to make a Tank Hunter squad. Scout is nice, and so is Infiltrate. Now, I would utilize Scout more so to outflank, and I would utilize Infiltrate to both outflank or actually to infiltrate them in. But if I gave them Scout, it would be for the express purpose of outflanking. I really wouldn't utilize the Scout move too much. And Counterattack is nice and makes that squad a little bit beefier, a little bit more aggressive, capable. You can go up there, you can rapid fire right into a squad, and knowing full well that you're probably not going to kill it, but you have a better chance of doing more wounds to it that way, and then have them charge into you, and you get your counterattack ability and have a chance to still get your charge bonus. So, very nice thing to give if you're going to be aggressive with that squad. His Tempest Blade is nice. I wouldn't really rely on the Coup de Grace attack too much. I mean, if he gets assaulted, somehow he gets assaulted by a Wraith Lord or a Demon Prince, something where he really can't, a Carnifex, something where he really can't, wound it, either because he has no chance, or it's just he needs a 6 to wound it or something, then, give it a shot. But I wouldn't do it against, I would save it for the big toughness guys. I wouldn't use it for a toughness 3 multi-1 character. I wouldn't do that. I would use his normal attacks, because he has a decent amount of normal attacks. And surprise attack. It's a nice rule. I wouldn't rely on it, but it is nice. I've used a counter Sicarius for a few games in my previous 2000 Suns army, and I've used surprise attack every time I went second, and it's worked once out of a bunch of rolls I've made, which is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's still not something to rely on, obviously, as far as the odds, but it is nice. As far as him himself, you can be aggressive, but if you, just like any other special character, don't be too aggressive, don't overextend yourself by having him out in the front and too far forward and unsupported, because he can quickly get overrun. But he is good in an aggressive role. It's also very nice to hold the line and defend the line that way. Have him and his squad, be it command squad or whatever, in some type of transport, if at all possible, to quickly get to across the battlefield to defend a point. He really can help that way. He doesn't really lend himself exceptionally to one end of the spectrum. Wow, that was tough to say. He doesn't really lend himself to one side or the other. He's got flexibility, kind of, you know, something you'd expect out of the Ultramarines who follow the Codex Astartes. So I'm not saying he's a bland special character, because he's not. I'm just saying he can fill a variety of roles. He's very versatile. Now, he can't fulfill the same roles as, let's say, as somebody with a power fist or a thunderhammer or something, but he can still fulfill a good amount of roles. So chances are, if you're utilizing him at all, you're probably not doing it incorrectly. You may not be doing it the most efficient way, but that's fine. Really, because he doesn't have anything that lends to assaulting, really. He has the great attack, which is very nice, but he doesn't really have like Furious Charge or something like that. And he doesn't have great shooting, but he doesn't have bad shooting either. It's just that he has a pistol. He does have Feel No Pain, so he can be a bit more aggressive against people who have common attacks and whatnot. So really, I would say, if you're going to take a special character and you play Ultramarines, or you're going to do accounts as, and you just want to field a special character from the Space Marine Codex, but you don't quite know which one to field, but you want to field one of them, and you're dead set on fielding a special character, field Sicarius. He doesn't limit your army anyway, like the other chapter tactics do for the Salamanders or the Raven Guard or whatever. You still keep your combat tactics, and he has Rites of Battle, which helps out your army as a whole as well. So I would say you get good close combat potential as well as good army-wide helping potential. So if you want a special character but don't know who to field, he's always a good fallback if you really want to field one. Either as counts as or as his model. And his model is fantastic. I wish there wasn't so much Ultramarine iconography all over it, or else I'd use it for something, but I don't want to grind all that off, so probably just, I have his model. I'm gonna paint that one up as him anyway, but yeah, just I probably won't be getting another one to convert because it looks like too much work. So that's pretty much it. One thing before I go on this video, I just wanted to make note in case anybody does not know this. The majority of their product line in Games Workshop on their site gives you a little entry for them. It gives you their stat line, their unit type, and war gear. At the very least, it gives you their stat line. So if you're interested in an army or a new army, and you're knowledgeable of the game itself, and you know what the stats mean and what certain things are, it's worth checking out the different things in their store on their storefront, because below its little blurb and everything will have usually at the very least a stat line, so you can look at that and say, oh, I want to shoot, I better not field orcs because they got ballistic skill of 2, I'd rather field something else that has a higher ballistic skill, stuff like that. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Hope you've enjoyed, and take it easy.